Greetings everyone, it's Puka again. Today is part 2 of our short-run actual play for our celebration of Changeling the Dreaming's 30th anniversary year. If you haven't yet listened to the first part from last week, we recommend you go back and check that out first. Note also that there were some audio issues in this episode. I've done my best to clean them up, but please be patient with any sonic weirdnesses. Thanks very much, and on with the show! This is Changeling the Podcast.
Welcome everybody to another session of the Changing the Dreaming actual play, an introduction for new players to Changeling the Dreaming. I am your host, Fetch, she, her, and I will be running our three lovely players through today's adventure. This is session 2 of an expected 3 sessions, and after their introductions, we'll go into what the focus is for today. So I am going to have Elleris, Medi, and then Jay introduce yourselves briefly.
Hello, I'm Ellers. Again, I am playing Ellers, the Puka Childling High Sorcerer, or at least he tries to be.
Keeping the two separate is exactly as confusing as anyone might imagine, but we love our Puka wizard. Medi?
Hi, I'm Medi, and I'll be playing Thessania tonight, who is a autumn she rock star, the self-proclaimed fire moth of Phoenix.
I'm curious to see whether we'll get to see a performance out of you at some point during the adventure. How about Jay?
I'm Jay. I am playing House Baylor's very own bare-knuckle butler, Lucas Green Esquire, here to serve and protect my Lord Boleros, even if he doesn't know I'm doing it.
So our group is composed of a wizard, a rock star, and a butler. And dear listeners, that is all you need to know about why you should play Changing the Dreaming. With that in mind, let us begin today's session. During our last session, we established that Count Radamanthus and Lord Boleros of the Phoenix Freehold were romantically entangled, but trying desperately to keep it a secret from everybody else. At this point, however, it is an open secret. They're doing a terrible job of hiding it, and as midsummer approaches, they are both seized by fey moods that are only making it and everybody else's lives much more difficult. They have political aspirations and they have political enemies. In an effort to help them out and maybe make your own lives easier, you have conspired to put a stop to all this secret keeping and get them to openly propose to each other. Through a bit of recollection, Lucas has recalled that Boleros has known both of them since he was young and has always been an adventurous sort, if a bit of a scaredy cat. Someone who's very edgy but too scared to go into the graveyard alone kind of person. The next question is going to be, how are you going to be getting them together? Off camera, we decided that the best way to do it would be some combination of Midsummer, which is a high point celebration for the Seelie court when emotions run wild, and Pride Month celebration, which, hey, is just a good time all around, and this would be a queer couple. So why not figure out some sort of party, get the two there, and try to get them to confess their love publicly. The trick is organizing it, getting them to attend, and dealing with threats. You know that you do not have time to do everything, in part because forces will move at their own rate, and in part because I'm only planning on doing 3 sessions of this adventure. So today's session will be about seeing how many things you can knock out. Being unable to meet and deal with every faction or individual does not mean that you fail to organize things. It just means you have more complications to deal with when we actually get together. So, we return ourselves to Purcell's cozy bar, the corner booth the three of you have. Your meals mostly finished. Thesania deep in your cups by now, Purcell having continued to bring you whatever you desired, and seemingly okay with how intoxicated you are becoming, and moving towards plans of who you're all going to talk to first. And I would love it if the three of you could keep your characters together so I have less spotlight working to do. What do you do?
Clearly, we should split up.
God damn it!
Well, seems if we were going to have this celebration, Lady Purcell having her catering the event would be a good way to draw just about anybody to the party. Plus, she might know who we could talk to about where to have this happen. I don't know if the tavern would be the right spot or if we should find something a little more high class.
Okay, but if we have Purcell cater, it's not going to just draw anybody. It's going to draw everybody.
This is true.
I mean, is that not the point?
The problem will be that it may draw people we don't want getting involved.
As you say that, you look around the tavern and see the gathered. As always, Purcell attracts folks from every stripe of Fey life. Seelie, Unseelie, the Shadow Court. You see a few Thalain mixing in with the Kithane that are gathered. Who knows who could be listening in or want to come if she caters. On the other hand, who knows who might want to come if she's there?
If it's a person whose name starts with an A, like, as long as it's not that person, then it's all good.
Well, if she's willing, perhaps we could convince her to do this, but keep it quiet until like the last minute, which would give unwanted elements less time to involve themselves. And then it becomes a little secret that we managed to uncover for our respective lords.
As you consider that and Elris hums, you catch sight of Purcell, or rather, not herself, for she is rather tiny, but you see these sacks of plates that she is busily carrying from one table to another. You know that you could certainly finesse your way into a conversation where maybe you could keep this secret, but managing to have that conversation privately is going to be the challenge.
We need a distraction. Someone distracts everyone, and then someone else go talk to Purcell. And then that way, everything's a secret.
Yes, perhaps someone could put on a very distracting performance, and I look at Thesania.
Do you really need to ask? She's already kind of like pulling out her guitar from her bag.
Is this an ordinary guitar or is it magical?
It's a magical electric guitar, so she doesn't need an amplifier for it.
That sounds pretty cool. What makes it stand out to fairy or perhaps even mortal eyes?
To fairy eyes, it has a lot of it's like a moth and flame motifs. For mortal eyes, it is just a really, really nice looking guitar.
I'm imagining that to mortal eyes, the moths and flame motif is still part of the guitar, but if somebody can see chimerical reality, then they see the flames rising off of it and the moths dancing through it across the length of the guitar.
Indeed, it's mortal eyes. It just looks like it has some really nice engravings and such. It's either a custom job or some weird unknown brand or a maker who just had a really nice logo.
I like this. Okay. Elris, did you have anything to add to that? And furthermore, if you are all agreeable to that, does that mean that both Elris and Lucas will be talking to Purcell while Thesania plays?
Yeah, Ellers will will go to speak with Purcell.
Yes, I think my class and your adorableness, we should be able to convince her.
We will see about that. Medi, I am going to have you give me a roll in a moment. I assume you have performance, correct?
Indeed.
Do you have a relevant specialty? In fact, I think you have to have a specialty for performance, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, when you take your first performance, you have a specialty right off the bat. That's one of those
Oh,
skills.
nice.
And hers is actually singing.
Okay, wonderful. That means that if you work singing into your performance, then any 10s you roll count as 2 successes. So I'm going to have you set up, and you're going to tell me like where you're setting up and how you're beginning, and then I'm going to introduce a complication for you. Then we'll get to you making a check. And that check will determine how things are going for Elleris and Lucas.
Okay, so I think first off, the sound is like probably downs her drink is by Persephone telling her not to do that, and then she just kind of like puts a leg onto the table, just kind of wobbling a bit before she just starts. A really impressive guitar solo is to kind of grab everyone's attention.
And I miss it. Where are you doing this? Are you standing on a table or finding some
Table.
Okay, so you stand up. Is it the corner table, or do you just push yourself to the middle of the room and stand on one of the long tables?
Remind me of where were we? Like I think we were like out in public, right?
So
Or
you are inside of Purcell's Tavern, which mechanically is a freehold because it does have a balefire in the public area that people relax next to.
yeah, she's doing that in the public area.
Okay. Are you going to be doing it in front of the balefire, in the corner booth that you've been sitting at, or on top of a more public table?
Corner booth where we're sitting at.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cue for those other two to kind of clear out of the way.
So, Elris and Lucas, what's the moment you're waiting for to excuse yourselves?
I mean, there's really only one moment that's even remotely appropriate, and that's the guitar solo. That's the moment.
Sounds right.
Okay.
She has everyone enraptured at that same moment. Yeah.
All right, Thesania, so you get up and you begin to play. As you're doing so, you find it difficult to focus on your performance because, as you've said yourself, you have gone against Purcell's recommendations and drank way more than you should have. Now, it is possible for you to sway people in the first place because of the area, so base difficulty would be 6. I'm going to increase it to 7 because you are intoxicated. And I'm going to say, as a complication, that there is a satyr here who, inspired by the upcoming midsummer, is feeling ambitious and, feels the rivalry as your voice begins to come out. They stand up. And then when you go to begin the guitar solo, they try to intervene with their own performance and showboat and steal attention away from you. Now, you know that if this happens, it's going to distract people, but not in the way that you want. And you need to keep control over this. So I'm going to call this a difficulty 8 performance check. What social attribute would you like to add to this? I think technically the book says that there's a role that you're supposed to use, but I like to allow players to suggest an attribute that feels appropriate.
Either appearance or manipulation seems appropriate.
Sure. If you stand up and you are focusing more upon your gloriousness, the artistry of the stage, I would say use appearance. If it's more focused on the music itself, then use manipulation. I'm guessing appearance is your better score.
I think my appearance actually is a 6.
Then I would recommend doing appearance plus performance, keeping in mind that you get double 10s on this roll. Now, it is difficulty 8. Do you want to spend a willpower point on this? Or even unleash the weird?
I actually have voice of a songbird, which notice that to have 6, right? You said 8, so that should load that to a 6.
I am double checking. Yes, a 2-point merit that says when it involves inspirational speaking or singing, you are at a -2 difficulty. I'm going to say that this applies to this situation, especially because the general context of it is attracting it, kind of like a siren song. So
Mm-hmm.
go for it. You can drop that difficulty back down to a 6.
Okay, and
Were you going to burn a willpower? Just curious.
let's burn a willpower.
Okay. You are spending a point of willpower. I will remind you that 2 common ways to regain willpower are through rest and through fulfilling one of your legacies. So please roll your appearance plus performance with double tens and get 1 automatic success. Ones will still subtract, but it is impossible for you to botch because of the automatic success.
All right.
How many dice do you have in your pool, Medi?
That pool would be 6, 9 dice.
Oh my god! 6 successes, Medi.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
As I said, she is the fire mouth of Phoenix.
To think I had any doubts. Now, for our viewers at home, even 1 success means that a player passes a test. However, that would only be a marginal success. You do it okay, but without any finesse or flair. 3 successes are considered to be a complete success. It's what a person would expect. Now, you should never need more than 1 success under normal circumstances to actually succeed. You don't take that away from the players. But the more successes they get, the more flavor you should add to the description. And I think sometimes you should even give them a little benefit. It caps out at 5 successes being extraordinary, the best that somebody could possibly do. And Medi, you got 6. I'm gonna let you add some flair and detail to the scene. So you are going to get everybody's attention, distracting them from Elris and Lucas's conversation with Purcell, and you're going to keep the showboating satyr girl from seizing control of the performance.
In fact, she ropes them into it. Like, that satyr's her accompaniment. And she just turns this thing into a entire
Duet?
duet slash Disney bar musical.
I can perfectly visualize it. So this satyr, she starts out by trying to showboat and jump in during the guitar solo, but all you do is pump her up for a moment before drawing her back into the hypnotic words that you sing. She cannot help but get caught up in your energy. And the audience, they think it's all part of the act, that the two of you had planned this from the beginning. You catch sight of Purcell as Elris and Lucas are making their way over. She gives you a curious look, but says nothing and finishes serving plates to most of her guests who are not really looking at her right now. They are enraptured by you. The satyr sings along with you, joyously caught up in the mood, sweating, laughing, finding the same rhythm. It is a spellbinding performance. Now, we will come back to you for adding flavor, and you are welcome to interrupt what's happening in the rest of the scene to say that your character is doing something or how it might be affecting things, just so you're not completely in the background. But that was a good time to flip over to Elris and Lucas and see how they are handling things. With the background of the guitar solo playing, what do you do?
We have to sneak. Nobody can see us ever.
Okay. I just wait for you to start sneaking.
So I think having been drawn into this kind of impromptu performance, Ellers is going to wait till the moment where there's more eyes focused on Thesania, like during an instrumental part or where she's singing like a particular lyrical pitch, and then he's going to try to sneak underneath the tables.
Sure, I'm not even going to have you make a stealth roll for that in this case. The audience is enraptured by Thesania, listening to this back and forth as she plays something on her guitar as a call that gets a response from the satyr, and it goes back and forth. While you get on your hands and knees, and you are tiny, you look literally like a child. So it's not hard for you to crawl beneath the tables or between people's feet. Lucas, you see Elris get on his hands and knees and crawl towards Purcell between the feet of people who are clapping and stomping their heavy shod boots or their hooves. What do you do?
So I'm going to wait a moment to make sure that the little one isn't going to get trampled by accident, and then I'm just going to use my twinkling of the eye birthright and just suddenly appear behind both him and Purcell.
For the audience, would you explain how twinkling of an eye works?
Sure. So every kith has their own special abilities that they can do, or birthrights, I should say. As a Cluricon, one of my abilities is called Twinkling of an Eye. Basically, when you stop looking at me, and that even just for a split second, and then you look back, suddenly I'm behind you.
Incredible. Does that usually require a roll or glamour, or is that something
Only if I'm being held.
Oh, okay, so if you're not being held and nobody's focused on you, you can just be like, boop, I'm gone.
Whoop! It's almost like teleportation. Almost.
All right.
You just turn around and I'm there suddenly.
So, Elris, you scramble between the bare, heavily calloused feet of a particularly stony-looking ogre and emerge just in front of Purcell as she is about to enter the kitchen. She begins to chastise you gently. Elris, you should not be walking around on all fours like that. Now, I know that you look like a child, but it's very dangerous. As she is doing this, you become aware of the Cluricon just like slowly rising up from behind her.
Oh, that is spooky. That is kind of spooky.
What? Oh dear. Lucas, I expected such tricks from the adorable little pigeon Puka, but not from a noble butler like yourself.
I apologize, Lady Purcell. We wanted a word with you while you had a moment.
Well, I do need to go into the kitchen to get some more libations.
She steps into the kitchen, her little hoofs making a little tap, tap, tap noise as she goes.
On instinct, get in front of her and hold the door for both of them.
Oh, how very gentlemanly. Thank you.
Of course.
The kitchen is a comfortable place, full of wooden tables, fruits and vegetables hanging everywhere, and not just things that you would find in the mortal world, but things a Fae make. I would love it if any or all of you, Medi included, took this opportunity to describe a object of interest that reflects the fey nature of Purcell's eclectic kitchen. It could be anything from an interesting carving knife to a particularly curious fruit or vegetable. As a reminder, she is one of, if not the oldest changeling to remain in the freehold and yet not be undone. She has been here for decades. The earliest anyone recalls of her is her in her wilder years, when she had the nickname of the Battling Ram. She was known as a fierce warrior and a culinarian who would often go into the dreaming in search of chimerical dishes to serve in her kitchens. Over time, she decided to retire from the adventuring life and focus upon service to the freehold itself and, well, Concordia in general. She is well known for her catering and her excellent food.
Based on that, would it be fair to say that perhaps she's got a trophy of a great hunt or something? The skull of a creature that she used to make some of the most delicious dish that everyone still talks about?
Yes, I believe that would be completely fair. You see a skeleton of what looks to be a impossibly large bird that is suspended from the ceiling with terrible talons and great empty eye sockets looking down at you. If you stare at it for too long, you can hear music coming from it. Deeply unsettling music. Like a twisted version of what the Sonia plays.
Mm. Lucas hears that, starts to hear that music, and just thinks to himself, "I bet you were delicious," and then looks back to Purcell.
Oh, yes, the songbird of death. A terrible monstrosity. It was born of parents' fears about rock music some decades ago, and I slew the thing. Personally, I find the music itself quite good, though I think I acquired a taste for it after slaying the monster.
Quite the impressive feat, Lady Purcell.
You are ever so kind, dear Lucas.
Medi or Elleris, would you like to add a detail?
As Elris enters the kitchen, he just kind of walks around one of the large central islands, and along the back wall, he sees a small, unassuming wooden bookshelf. Laden with books, so many books that the shelves look like they're bowing under their weight. And as he goes up to it, he doesn't just see normal cookbooks like, how to prepare French or Italian cuisine or something like that. There are books detailing recipes garnered from specific realms in the dreaming. He sees one entitled Recipes from Heart Realms from Balloon. As he tries to reach for one of them, the titles seem to shift and change depending upon what he's thinking. Like if he's thinking of dessert, all of a sudden there's a bunch of dessert books. If he's thinking of something savory, there's main courses books for that laid out before him.
Oh dear, Elleris. I hope that they find something that you would like if I could cook you a meal. Something other than pancakes, perhaps?
She puts a little hoof to her mouth and gives you a playful smirk.
Purcell, how many cookbooks do you own?
Oh dear, I don't keep track of such things. I do recall that the previous court wizard was a little miffed when I took my library collection with me upon leaving. I suppose there might be a few of my books left over at Radamanthus's castle, but really they're all quite dear to my heart. There's as many different things that one can cook as humanity can dream of.
Ellers is just heartily impressed. He pulls out a random book, flips it open, random page, and looks up at Purcell and says, Purcell, there's a chicken soup recipe in here that says it can, and I quote, cure death.
The problem with that recipe is that it does involve going down one of the paths of Baylor and killing the first animal that you see on the road to the underworld. And if you take that and put it in the stew, it will indeed cure death, though I don't recommend it. Cure being a very curious word under these circumstances.
Eller scrunches up his face and replaces the book on the shelf because, yeah, it's got celery in it. It can't be any good.
Medi, would you like to add any details?
The sound is like just performing outside. The music can still be heard through the kitchen door. The orders are still coming in. And I'd say the state of the kitchen is that it is quite busy in the sense that everything is magically automated, including the vegetables who literally just peeling themselves and chopping themselves up and just jumping into the stew.
Terrifying. All around you, Elrus and Lucas, you hear things like a It's either the carrot or the knife chopping it, going, "Carrot chop, chef!" You hear the sound of a potato hopping into a pot and going, "Soup's on, chef!" Purcell nods approvingly at the various foodstuffs that are preparing themselves and makes gentle corrections to the technique of some of them as she goes around listening to the two of you. "Now," she says, "what exactly can I help the two of you with right now?"
Well, we were talking, and we thought with Midsummer and Pride Month coming up all at once, we were thinking it might be good for the kingdom in general to throw a little celebration.
Hmm. Well, I do love a good party, although I haven't heard much from dear Radamanthus. He keeps saying that he's going to visit or that he's going to have me come host a party, but then he cancels at the last minute, saying something like, no, the mood is just wrong, and that his heart has no taste for soul food, and that all morsels become ash upon his tongue. It's really been quite the problem. I really would love to put something together for him.
Her tail wags furiously.
I look to my associate, who has more experience with Radamanthus than I do.
All right, don't put on a poetry reading because you'll be there all day. I was thinking that at some point, Purcell, you can't tell anyone this. It's secret talk. I was gonna sneak into Radamanthus's freehold because I'm allowed there, but then the sneaking part comes afterwards. Find something that he really, really liked to do and hasn't done in a while, like I don't know, fishing or being able to bend his knees. Then say that it's at the party. Yeah, we found it, and then he'll show up because he'll want it.
She leans forward, narrowing her expressive eyes. It's still cute, but you cannot help feeling heavily scrutinized by this.
And why are the two of you so interested in putting this together?
Well, we just thought that both of our lords needed a little break, a chance to let off some steam, perhaps, and catch up on old times together, especially with all those children he's been raising. He could certainly use a bit of adult time.
Hmm. And that's really all of it.
The two of you know that if you let out what's going on, then she is going to be all in, but she is also going to go all out with whatever she prepares. Do you try to keep to your story about, we're just trying to help these two boys be friends at a party where they are in the same room? Or do you let her in?
I think I'm trying to let her in without outright saying it, because if I just flat out say it, that would feel like I'm gossiping about my lord behind his back or something, which is uncouth. But I do want her to kind of get what we're laying down, you know?
I have a question.
Yes, Solaris.
So I know Purcell is a boggin, and the hearsay about boggins is that they're good at gathering hearsay, but they also exchange it quite a bit. Would I know from my past interactions with Purcell if Purcell, do I think she'd be able to keep this secret? Or am I, by telling Purcell, am I effectively telling the entire duchy?
There is a huge risk that you're telling the entire duchy. The only reason that the entire duchy is not going to definitely know is because Thasani is out there right now, distracting everybody from a conversation that you were having with one of these celebrities of the Phoenix Freehold. If you want to let her in on this, but get her to keep it under control, it is going to require some kind of role to express it, and then either a separate role to convince her to handle it in a restrained manner, or increase the difficulty of the role of telling her in the first place.
In that case, I think what Ellers is going to do is do what he does, what Pukas do best, and that is tell the truth, but not the whole, a creative interpretation of the truth. And he's going to effectively say that what they're really wanting to do is make sure this event can get the community, the changeling community of Phoenix together. There needs to be some sort of capstone healing event after all the city's been through recently. There was like a puppy puka and a bunny rabbit and a house Darien member who had like an army of retainers. Things have just been so chaotic and stressful. Wouldn't it be nice just to get everyone together?
I like where this is going. So I'm going to say this feels like it's teamwork from the two of you to convey this. I feel like I want to say that one role is going to come from Jay to convey the message so she picks it up. And
Yeah,
if that role is successful, then I'm going to have Elris make a role to get that across. I think the default on both of these would be manipulation plus etiquette, difficulty of 6. You can argue for a different combination if that's not a good combo for you and you think you have something else that would make sense.
manipulation etiquette, that actually works really well for me.
Yeah, that works. That works pretty well for me. That sounds good.
Okay. I don't see any need to modify the difficulty of it in this case. I think me giving you guys two different roles that you have to make is enough of a challenge. So let's start with whether you get the point across. Jay, are you going to spend willpower on this roll?
I will, which, because this is still the same moment as last time, so that's my second willpower for the
All right. And could you please remind me of what your legacies are?
rake.
Oh, you're the rake.
Yeah, I am a Cluricon boxer who likes his wine, so a good fight and a good drink.
Okay. Let us proceed then with you making your roll.
Alright, so with one willpower, 1, 2, 3, 4 successes, counting the willpower.
Okay. Purcell's going through the kitchen, listening to you talking about how you're putting it very subtly. So at first, she seems more distracted by making sure that all of the seeds pop out of the fruits that she is currently speaking with. But then she turns to look back at you and starts nodding along while petting a carrot that is peeling itself. I do happen to agree that it would be wonderful to put on a big thing. That, for a month like this, after all the difficulties that our field has had, something heartening does sound good. And I dare say both your lord and Radamanthus could use something to really cheer them up, to really bring them together, to really, really have them embrace each other in ways that they have not for so very long. Elris, you realize this is your moment to step in before she goes off the rails with her planning.
Okay, so I will make the roll first to see if the stepping in is successful here.
And what is your legacy? And are you spending willpower?
I will spend a willpower, and the primary legacy is Orchid.
Noted. Thank you.
Okay, so that was manipulation and etiquette, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's looks like 3.
So you really lay it on heavily about the need to keep things under wraps. And she finally goes, I do so love everybody to know when I put together a big celebration for it. And it can be ever so difficult to keep some of the best parts a secret. But I think that I can manage to do something exactly like what you're going for. And you can trust me, I'm going to make sure that this is the absolute best and most exciting thing to ever happen to the freehold. But it'll be shush shush until then.
Thank you so much, Lady Purcell. I knew we could count on your grace and expertise.
Medi, you, as you pointed out, are a knave.
Mm-hmm.
And the quest for the knave is that you regain willpower when you convince others to do something that they oppose and they enjoy it. Now, you've got this audience's attention, and you've got this satyr who is very clearly getting into the performance and getting a little bit into you, honestly. If you can tell me what you do that is knave like, you can regain the point of willpower that you've spent in this scene.
Yeah, I think she's probably encouraging her to actually just let loose a little bit more.
Sure. So you go all out and remind me what kind of music you play.
Rock.
Rock. Okay, so you're doing rock music, and the satyr was going for more of a soft, gentle rock approach with what she was doing, but you know that you could bring out so much more out of her that she is trying to be all seely and noble about it, but that she is holding herself.
Yeah, she gets confrontational throughout as you're playing and just guarding her to take the spotlight from her.
She does at some point, and when she does so, she is following along with your way of singing, and through the sweat and the haze and the powerful sense of all the food, she is grinning. You see her companions that she came with just staring at her, aghast to see her singing like this. You've seen this look before of people shocked to see somebody letting go, and while satyrs are already known for being expressive, you know that this is one who was not expressing herself in a way that was true to herself, but now she is. As her song comes to an end, you regain a point of willpower. You also learn her name is Lineata.
Okay.
A very common naming scheme in the Freehold is to name yourself after some type of moth or butterfly. So that is very likely where her name comes from. That said, you are picking up the vibes that Elris and Lucas are finishing up. Liniata, of course, just wants to spend more time with you afterwards because she is feeling a huge rush after this. So my question becomes, with Purcell on your side, what do the three of you do?
So are we thinking the party's going to happen here at the tavern, or do we need to secure a different location?
We haven't established that. Purcell would be happy to have it at the tavern, but there are plenty of other locations that you folks could choose.
Also, like, what's our cover for the party? Did we figure one out yet?
Like, why the party is happening?
Yeah, I guess, like, what's the reason for the party? At least, like, publicly speaking.
Well, Elris and Jay can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that your cover is that is midsummer, which is a common time for celebrations to happen anyway, and that it is Pride Month, and a opportunity to properly celebrate Pride is not one to be missed.
Yeah, it's like, the Duchy's been through so much. This is a chance to come together in celebration. At least that's the official.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess, like, before Chisana, finishes off, she just ends up blurting out, like, "Thanks, Fireflies, for listening, and it's just a little secret between me and all of you. I'm holding a Midsummer Bash, like, pretty soon because as we've established before, she is also rather drunk, and it just slips out."
So that slips out. It will not invalidate the successes that you've achieved, but everybody's like, there's gonna be a bash? Oh my god, we've gotta go. Tell us where it is. And Eldris and Lucas, you show up back in time before Thessania can just tell the entire plan to the audience. You know they're going to be talking about this, which is good, but you need to stop her before she starts talking about all of the really exciting stuff that might happen.
Twinkling of an eye, nobody's looking at me. They blink, and I'm suddenly right up on right up next to her. Thank you, everybody. We'll have details in the future. Come, my dear. Yeah, if I think you have that appointment you have to get to.
Oh, right, appointment.
Lynetta says, I'm gonna see you at the bash. That's gonna be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. This is gonna be so cool.
Yes, we'll have details soon. Thank you. I just kind of try to rush her out the door.
She's like shouting her phone number and her Discord handle at you as you're heading out.
I hope Lucas, is taking the notes for her because like whatever
Of course.
design I took is probably like a huge jumbo on her phone.
Once we get out of there, I'll yes, sir, I can help you with that, and I'll program that into your phone for you.
So you need to decide who and where you are going next. Also, where you're going to be holding the bash at. Purcell will offer her tavern as a venue, but there's plenty of other options.
Would Radamanthus and Boleros, is coming to Purcell's Tavern something? They'd be fine with that, or would they be easier to get them to come to this if it was somewhere more, fit for a she or whatever?
Purcell's Tavern is a neutral meeting spot for everybody. Radamanthus and Boleros will both agree to go here. It is, in fact, a place that people often go to if they want to generally talk things out.
So, what do you think, everyone? Having it at the tavern sound good?
Somewhere in the Dreamings also sounds good. Then again, this is Lasagna's. And she is the sort to really want to just go 110% on things, so to speak.
This is also Thesania speaking. I think the most important thing is we gotta get them out of their freeholds. I mean,
Yeah.
Radamanthus really needs to get outside.
Which means we should do this in the Dreaming. A venue that requires a very curated adventure to get to.
Somewhere that both Sealy and Unsealy would be comfortable attending.
Hey, I've got an idea.
Yes?
I heard that what's it called? What was it called again? Broken wing? Broken feather? Burnt feather?
The Burning Feather Hostel?
Burning feather, that's it. The owner recently had to go and become king or something, but it was a place that everyone could go to, and it's got a swimming pool, or at least it used to.
I've heard of it. As a freehold of House Duran, they would certainly be considered a safe place for anyone to attend, whether they be she or commoner or even Thelanes would be allowed in, as long as they abided by hospitality. That could be a good place to do it. I believe they held the circus there recently.
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking. The Sonya's idea is we have this thing at the place, but then for Boleros and Radamanthus, they got to go through an adventure to get to the place. But we work with the place to make the adventure. That way, we all know what's going on. Like a theme park.
Yes.
But with dragons.
And the Burning Feather is a hotel with rooms, so if they can't make it back to their respective homes that night, they can easily find refuge there.
Yeah, that could work.
Very well. Should we go book that now, or do you need to go home? And he puts a hand on Thesania's shoulder, kind of checking how drunk you are.
She is wobbling. She probably should not be having a phone in her hand with access to social media.
I will just hold that for you, Lady Thesania, until you're feeling a little more stable on your feet. Should probably get you some water.
Okay, yeah.
My car's nearby. We can drive wherever we need to go. Should we head for the Burning Feather, or do you think we should take Thesania home to her father?
I think Thesania can come with us to the Burning Feather, but then she's got to go home and take what looks like a really long nap.
And while we're dropping her off, we can let something slip to Lord Radamanthus about the upcoming celebrations.
Well, you can slip as much as you want. I'm sneaking into his bedroom and stealing his journal. The one where he doesn't have poetry on it.
Not my lord, not my problem.
I mean, I know a way to really get my dad's attention. That she grins in a mischievous and drunken way. You make him think that is the worst thing he can ever hear. It's a secret wedding.
And that would make him want to come?
My secret wedding.
Ah,
Oh.
I'm going to defer to the two of you where Radamanthus is concerned. You know him better than I do.
Well, are we going to ask Jericho too?
Yes. We've been planning on doing this like for a while now. It's just can't seem to get out of his moods. I'm just gonna have to force his hand
Well, do I get to throw flowers at people?
at the actual wedding, but this one's just to get his attention and mobilize him.
Uh-huh, that's what they all say.
So you want to wait until the day of and then let it slip that you're getting married so that he'll run down to stop it?
We let slip a rumor that I'm getting married. And since the groom is one of Lord Belarus's most loyal knights, he is going to have to attend as well.
Here's my car. Watch your head, and I'm going to help you into the back seat of my dark purple BMW, which has very nice leather seats and all the bells and whistles on the inside. And then I'll help Elleris into the other side of the back seat and get in the driver's seat.
Can I get shotgun?
If you like,
Yes!
I'll pick you up and buckle you into the front seat.
Elleris does need to make sure that he chooses an age old enough to sit in the front seat, of course.
He would. He doesn't want Lucas to get pulled over.
And then as I get into the driver's seat, I open a little compartment in between and I pull out a bottle of water, open that up, and I pass that back to Thessania. This will help level you out a little.
Medi, just give me like a stamina plus athletics roll difficulty 5 to shake off the intoxication.
Okay, stamina, athletics. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, one success.
Which is canceled out by the 1 that you got. So you are still feeling kind of tipsy. Not as bad, but you'll just kind of have to watch your like manners as you're going about. I'm thinking at this point that we could take it as read that you all go to the Burning Feather and make arrangements, and then that the next scene would be convincing Radamanthus to attend.
I probably leave Elleris and Thessania in the car and leaving Elleris to keep an eye on her and make the arrangements.
All right, it doesn't take very long to make those arrangements. Elleris, you are stuck in the car with Hassania right now, who is like going through these mood spells where like you think that she's no longer intoxicated, and then it just surges right back.
Thasani, how many fingers am I holding up?
17.
That sounds right. Okay.
Elleris, don't you have like a power that just... Oh, no, you don't have pyretics like Purify.
No,
you?
I don't.
I don't think any of you have pyretics.
No, I do not.
A shame.
Such a shame.
Dragon's Iron Primal. That's me.
Would not recommend using Dragon's Ire on Thasania to cure her inebriation.
It won't cure it, but it'll make it more entertaining to watch.
Yeah, okay, so Thasania, you are dealing with hallucinations where you see like figures made out of snow appearing randomly in your vision that feel realistic. Sometimes like extensions of the people that you're talking to. Thus the 17 fingers that you're seeing on Elleris's hand. All makes sense until it doesn't. Lucas, you return to the vehicle, ready to drive to visit Radamanthus.
I get in and see Thessania's still out of it. It's like, okay, I suppose let's take her home before she has an accident. And I'll start driving us towards her home where Radamanthus is also located.
Okay. He has been spending his time in the freehold. What this means for you is that you go to Arizona State University. You park in a pretty far away place because, hey, come on, let's let the students have a few nice spaces. Why not? And then take a nice long walk past the students as they're going about their daily business, past the numerous buildings. You feel like you're in a city within a city when you're on the campus.
A university.
Past the guidance counselor office that Radamanthus sits at when he is educating students. He's been in no mood for it recently, and you just hear like a couple of students talking outside, going like, "Yeah, Professor." Actually, Sonny, I don't know what your character's like last name is in a mortal world.
I don't think we ever figured that one out.
Smith?
Professor insert name here. He's not been responding to like my emails. Oh, I got a response, and he was just like, "It doesn't matter what career path you take in life because all paths ultimately lead to heartbreak." Dude, I don't know what to make of it. Nestled in between some engineering buildings, down a long twisting corridor, you arrive at the Secret Garden, a beautiful little hidden away place for students to relax underneath the bough of a gigantic tree and in the presence of weird statues that appear for no apparent reason here on the regular. It is also how you shift into the freehold proper. I don't think I ever established this, but what is the method for transitioning from the mortal version to the dreaming version?
The dreaming version of the Freehold.
Yeah, I guess how do you find the wrath, I suppose it would be.
Um, I'll toss out a suggestion if that's all right.
Sure?
I like to maybe take a nod from the books where they have had other universities, and the Wrath is located in the campus gardens or green space,
Hmm?
and it's through one of the oldest sections, like the original part of the campus, through an old arbiter that no one really uses anymore because the path that originally went through there, it's had like a building, they had to move it, but it's kept there for historic reasons. Like, hey, this was like the first stone arbiter that was put in the original campus site.
I think I'm going to build off of that and say if you hold your hand to the tree and walk around it meditatingly, when you open your eyes, you are in the freehold itself.
Oh, I like that.
The three of you do that. And when you open your eyes, you are still in, well, certainly it feels like a city within a city, but it is populated with the homes of the numerous Kithane that populate Phoenix. And rising high amongst all of it is a castle. And jutting from that castle is a newly built, prodigious balcony upon which looms a singular figure beneath dark and heavy clouds.
Oh, can we tell who the figure is from this distance?
You have a pretty strong feeling of the only person that it could be.
Is this normal, Elris? I don't come here often.
Yeah. This is that's the brooding balcony. It's where you go to brood. It's really popular with the kindred in the city. We can't keep them out of it.
Lucas pauses for a minute. Pookie's, right. So, no. Okay.
Okay, look, this is a good news, bad news kind of. It's like an Oreo. You've got delicious good news, better news, and then delicious good news. So the good news is that's probably a sign that Radamanthus is. He's really getting into the spirit of things. The really good news is he looks at Thasanya. You're gonna like really be able to pitch that wedding idea now. It's gonna hit home, I think.
So I should do that now then.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, hey, now is the best time to do anything.
Okay.
I hope you two know what you're doing. A drunk princess and a puka.
Is it a good idea? Like, is it, or
Seeing Thasanya kind of looking questioning, Elleris just claps his hands together and goes, "Okay, look, for this to work, Radamanthus has really got to be like invested in this, right? He can't just be like, oh, you're getting married, my sweet ragamuffin. Would that I could engage in such nuptial bliss as well," something like that. No, he's got to be like, I need to go there nowish. And that balcony, I mean, the backdrop, I think it's a good idea. Just maybe take another couple sips of water, maybe a little nap first. Kind of,
I brought another water bottle.
I am giving you 5 stars on that glamour app.
Most appreciated.
As the three of you are having this conversation and making your way into the castle itself, discussing what to do, Thesania, you hear a familiar voice coming from the hold of the castle. One moment. Hail, Lady Agrippina! This is Alexander, the banner troll of House Ilunid, or however it is pronounced, which I never remember. He is a imposingly tall man, tall even for the trolls. Carries himself with an elegant gait. He also looks, other than his prodigious size, pretty much like a normal, if impossibly well sculpted human. He is addressing you by the Sealy name that he is most familiar with. You know that this is not an intentional misnaming on his part.
It's Lasagna.
You two, this is highly inappropriate. I don't know what you've done, but
Apologies. We were sharing a glass at the tavern, and she felt like putting on an impromptu show and went a little overboard on the alcohol. So we felt we should escort her home for her own safety.
Alexander makes a face at that is intentionally hard to read. He is trying to conceal some vibe from you, which you are welcome to try to discern. I think wits plus empathy. Difficulty 8. He's pretty good at hiding his feelings usually.
Oh wow, 2 successes, an 8 and a 10.
Okay. Lucas, you and anyone else who rolls and succeeds realizes that Alexander is in a foul mood. The man is exhausted, presumably by dealing with his lord's issues. And you feel like that's something that you both need to be careful about, especially given Thessania's now drunk, and may be able to exploit to getting what you need. So keep that in mind that can be used for me to increase or decrease the difficulty of other rolls. Lady Agrippina, please allow me to escort you to your private quarters.
You may then. She looks over to Lucas and Alice and goes, "Hey, I'll see you two later." And then afterwards, you can tell, like, "Darling, the good news." Wink, wink.
I am intensely curious to know what this news is. Perhaps you could tell me about it, Lady Thessania, as you prefer to be called currently. Magister Ellerus, if you wouldn't mind, the Lord is concerned about the permanence of the storm clouds that are presently hanging over the brooding balcony. If you could tend to his needs, I'm sure he would appreciate that.
When he looks at Lucas as a member of House Baylor, we all have some sort of physical curiosity, let's call it, that signifies to those who know that this person is probably one of the blooded, as we're called. When he looks at me, he sees a larger than average clericon with skin, whereas in the mortal world you would see a man with eczema. To the Fae, you see that his skin takes on a thicker, almost rhino-like, hide-like texture. One ear is folded in on itself. It's what they call cauliflower ear that professional fighters sometimes end up with.
He pauses a moment and says, I believe you are Lucas, one of the knights of Lord Beleros.
Yes, Lucas Green, yes. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise, I've heard excellent reports of your boxing talents. Perhaps we can speak at greater length after I've put the lady to bed. In the meantime, please make yourself comfortable in some discreet quarters.
Of course, I appreciate your hospitality. I would like to give my regards to our host if Lord Radamanthus has a moment. I would not wish to be impolite.
Lord Radamanthus is extremely busy at present.
I understand. One lord's servant to another. I can see you've had a long day. I sympathize.
It has been a very long month. So, Lady Thesania, he says as he begins to lead Thesania away, you are going to tell me about whatever plan this is that you have prepared. So, what do the three of you do? Alexander seems intent on managing the three of you, which is going to interfere with your plans to get Radamanthus to do, well, anything, and might very well spoil whatever you do have planned.
Well, Thesania is keeping him rather occupied at the moment. Perhaps the High Sorcerer of House Ilunid would be interested in giving me a tour. Wink, wink.
Well, I might be able to show you around.
And it is such a large place, it would only be natural if we got a little lost.
I think Ellerus might try to get Radamanthus off that balcony.
That might work.
Pray tell how.
Well, the thing about storms is that no storm clouds last forever. Eventually, they gotta go, and the sun will come back out again. So maybe if I were to use Chronos 5 on them, kind of hasten their departure.
Ooh, I like that. That would get him off of the balcony and out of a territory that is difficult. Let's do this. I'm going to say try to cast the cantrip to dispel them. And if so, I will reduce or negate the need to have a roll to meet Radamanthus in private.
Okay. I believe weather is like nature 5, so I will have to cheat that realm.
You're in a freehold, so it's a base difficulty of 7, and I believe you have art affinity, Kronos.
I do not, not on this. I did not have the points to take it.
Oh,
When I read
okay.
the character. Yeah, that's all right. I've got an idea here. Actually, this may be a good time since this is an actual play. Would you rule that the storm clouds are nature or fey because we're in the dreaming? That has been a common question that I've actually seen.
Before you suggested nature, I was going to say Fae because they are magically conjured either by one of the sorcerers here or by Radamanthus's own mood. So I feel like I would accept either one.
Then I am going to be very selfish and go with nature because that is the Puka affinity realm.
Okay.
And I will need a bunk for this. I think what Ellerus would do for his bunk is, are there gardens nearby inside the freehold? Just like a path through the gardens or...
Yes, you can find a garden in the castle courtyard, and you can use that to look up at the balcony and the clouds, if that's what you were going for.
Ellerus is going to go through the garden and pick out every flower, like a datura or a moonflower, that blooms at a particular time of day, and lay them out in a circle, like a morning glory, a moonflower, lungwort, things like that.
Fascinating. I'll count that as a level 2 bunk, since it's something that I find interesting and unique. So you only need to hit a difficulty 5. Are you spending willpower?
Yeah, I'll do it. And I think that'll be 2 glamour because this will be Chronos 5, which I believe is weird. Yes. All right, and I got to cheat the realm.
Do you want to give the audience an explanation for that? Sure.
Sure. So whenever you cast a cantrip, you have to combine the art you are using with the most relevant realm. The realm we're going with in this case is nature because they are storm clouds. And the basic effect of the art is Chronos 5, the 5th level power, which lets you hasten the demise of something, move time forward for it. Now, in this case, Elris is casting a weird cantrip. Weird cantrips always cost 1 glamour. And he is also trying to affect a phenomenon that is above his nature rating. So he needs to spend an extra point of glamour to do it. It does not matter whether he's got nature 1 or nature 2. the amount of glamour you need to spend is always just 1 extra.
I think that did it. That's 4, right?
Seems to be. You hasten the demise of the storm clouds and see them disperse as brilliant light once again descends upon the freehold. People around you breathe a sigh of relief. Radamanthus looks up at the sun, lets out a retiring sigh that somehow echoes across the entirety of the castle itself, and then turns with a overly dramatic, gloomy hand across the face gesture and lurches back inside of his castle.
Eller's just shakes his head, looks at Lucas, goes, "Wow, he kind of looks as bad as the Sonya did."
At least she had the alcohol to justify it.
Speaking of Thessania, Alexander is currently guiding you towards your personal apartments, and he is fishing for information from you. So, Lady Thessania, I understand that there's some important matter that makes you indulge in libations.
Yes. Can you guess?
Games, of course. Is this something involving your fiance?
Yes. Pretty sharp.
I have known you since we were children. You're usually pretty easy to reach.
Really? I thought you would be a bit more mysterious and aloof.
Thessania, your room is full of plushies and notebooks about your hopes in life. You constantly sing poetry, so on and so forth, and when you're your other self, anyway. Like this, honestly, you're usually more of a brat.
Touche. Wait, no, you can't trick me into divulging all of that just yet. You have to keep guessing.
Medi, he is going to keep playing a guessing game with
Mhm.
you. If you want there to be a chance for Thessania to keep this a secret, I think this would be wits plus subterfuge to watch your words. And if you succeed, then you tell me how you're able to frustrate his attempts at conversation.
Okay.
If you do really well, you can even bring it back so that you rejoin the other two when they're having the conversation with Radamanthus. I'm going to call this difficulty 6. It's something you wouldn't normally need to roll for in the first place, but your inebriation is what has caught his attention and is causing you to possibly divulge
Oh
it.
boy. Would spending a willpower help much?
Of course, if you spend a point of willpower, that guarantees a success. It can still be negated by a 1, but you cannot botch.
Okay, at least there's that. Okay, so that's
2 successes. Okay. You are able to keep Alexander baffled enough that he's more or less leading you back to your quarters, and he's more generally concerned for you than he is about getting secrets out of you, because at the end of the day, he does care about you. So, how do you turn the conversation?
I think she's just like keeping to the cover story. It's like, can you keep a secret?
I have my oaths to your father, but if at all possible, yes.
Well, Jericho and I were planning a fling. You know how Da is like really strict about us getting together before he proves himself and all that, but we just can't really wait.
Are you planning on getting married at some festival that you're putting on?
The cat looks so surprised. Oh, did the word spread that quickly already?
You're kind of talking about it right now.
Oh, right, right. Yes, I am. Yes.
You're extremely intoxicated. I do not like seeing you like this.
Well, we can talk when once I'm a bit more sober.
He opens a door in like an interior garden with an interior house in it. And inside, it's all light colors, pastels. There's plushies everywhere. He leads you to your four-poster bed with the thick, fluffy comforter, the perfumed roses set up around it. Do you need me to help you into bed?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. I'll be around should you need anything. Just shout for me.
Bro, do.
Elorus and Lucas. The two of you see Radamanthus retire. You wander around. You catch sight through a window of Alexander leading Thessania, you know, to where her own private quarters would be. Seems that she's had good luck with keeping him off the truth of the matter, but she is not able to guide him away from things. However, you do know where she's going and that she has the situation relatively under control. You can attempt to arrange a meeting with Radamanthus, and I would say if Elorus leads this, it is only a difficulty 4, and you could choose the location, which could indeed be at Thessania's place.
Perhaps lure him in to check on his inebriated daughter and
That's not a bad idea, but you may want to let me do all the talking because Radamanthus really trusts Pukas. I mean, his last like 3 high sorcerers have been Pukas.
There's a wall of paintings that you're passing along that show several very elegantly dressed and austere looking people, including a portrait of Elorus, but like as an adult dressed in fanciful magus robes. And there's like next to him, there's a painting of somebody who's just like nodding along with that.
of course, yes, everyone's heard of just how much he seems to love Pukas. But yes, you know him better than I will, so I'll follow your lead.
Elorus will guide Lucas to sort of the interior where Radamanthus's quarters are located. I imagine as such a prestigious noble, when Elorus said his bedroom, what he really meant were like the Lord's quarters, which probably have like a workshop, an antechamber, a waiting room, an actual sleeping room, a guest room.
This is true, and Moonlight Sonata's first movement is playing on repeat.
Oh no, it's getting worse.
Since he's not on the brooding balcony, you're able to. Everybody is kind of chilled out and they're letting people maneuver around. You're the high sorcerer. People might think it's a little weird if they see Lucas there, but you're able to handle the situation, which is why it's only a difficulty 4 to arrange this conversation as you want.
I think Elorus will knock on the door, but then he will actually make an announcement. Lord Radamanthus ap Eluned, we have come seeking your counsel, probably.
I have no counsel that I could possibly give in these dark nights. High sorcerer, your wisdom is greater than mine. I trust your discretion.
Lucas's eyebrows raise at that. In his head, he's like, "Oh wow, this really is bad."
You, trust me? Okay. What can I advise you on?
How does one heal a broken heart? How does one make the sun shine when all they can feel is cold and darkness? How does one pull themselves from the pit of despair when they don't even have a rope by which to climb?
Oh my. Okay. Hey, well, a promise is a promise. And I promise that I would advise you as faithfully as King Melj guided High King David. So, first of all, broken heart. That's probably spring, I'm guessing. Unless you don't mean like a really broken
Oh,
heart. Spring, the art?
I am familiar with the art and its common purpose with Seelie. I have felt that I am undeserving of it, Sometimes I feel as though I am still caught in endless winter.
At this point, Ellerus will motion Lucas over.
I step over.
He kind of gently pokes Lucas with his elbow. Goes, say the thing. Say like your name and your title and your favorite color.
Well met, Lord Radamanthus. I am Squire Lucas Green of House Baelor. I bring my Lord Belarus's best wishes. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Best wishes. A man who barely shows his face. A man who I thought I knew, but now I have doubts more than ever beating within my breast about his intentions. Does he come to see me himself? No. He sends but a squire. Is this what he thinks of me? The equivalent of a squire? Is that what I am reduced to? Do I hold perhaps no title in his unforgiving heart? Much less the title that I would care to be known by. Outside, the musicians who are playing Moonlight Sonata are kind of like looking away, trying to ignore this conversation.
Okay, this is bad.
I would not dare to speak for my Lord Beleros without his presence, but based on what I know of him, I personally am of the opinion that he holds you in the highest regard above all others. Perhaps he simply is a bit too distracted, and to be honest, he seems overworked as of late.
Elris, I am going to allow you to make a manipulation plus empathy or subterfuge roll to play off of Count Radamanthus's emotions and get him to come out and follow you where you want. The difficulty, I think, in this situation, it would have only been 4 in the first place because you are trusted and he is caught up in the feels. I think that Lucas being here and saying that is going to lower it to difficulty 3.
Okay, I will choose empathy and manipulation then,
Okay.
and we'll give this a roll. And that was difficulty 3?
It's only difficulty 3, yeah. Everything is stacked in your favor.
Okay, well, here goes.
Okay. 4 successes. So the door bursts open with far more thunder than strictly necessary. One of the musicians hisses as they see the doorknob slam against the wood backing, breaking it. And the sheep never look bad. Radamanthus is no exception. Even with his fine robes torn and his white hair in a mess and his eyes wild, he seems to have nothing to him but a manic gothic energy that only makes him look all the more handsome and elegant in the greatest of his despair. With wild, searching eyes, he looks at the two of you and says, "Perhaps you're right about whatever it is that you were talking about. Yes." He places his hands on Elleris's shoulders. "We should talk, but not here. I do not trust this abode. I do not trust the wintry walls that I presently find myself within. I feel an affectation upon me, high sorcerer. Your guidance, then. Where do we go that we might speak of things, that you might dispel this mood that weighs me down, like the curse of the shattering itself?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he has like kneel down, so Lucas, he's like on his knees holding Elris's shoulders.
I need an adult, a different adult. Hey, yeah, where should we go? You know, your daughter's back.
Agrippina,
Uh-huh.
one good thing that I have left after Lavinia left.
She was just saying that she was going to have a little celebration for Midsummer and Pride Month, and Something to help rally the people together after all these hard times.
After the dark winter,
The sun will always rise.
perhaps bring me to my daughter that I might see her in this good and cheerful mood. Help me feel once more.
Of course, we will take you right to her, Lord Radamanthus. And Lucas will kind of like help him back to his feet and just gesture to Elleris to lead the way, and just kind of clicks into butler mode and just helping Radamanthus the way he would if he was Lord Beleros.
Yeah, follow me and, try not to trip.
One of the musicians calls out, "Can we stop?" No! The music does not stop! Oh god. He closes the doors and leaves behind the musicians playing Moonlight Sonata and joins you on your way down to Thasania's place.
I shrug. I got no power here.
Medi, if Thasania did actually rest, you can give me another stamina plus. You know what? Let us actually say stamina plus wits roll to try to break out of the intoxication. Or if you have not done so, then you can just continue to play your character in her current state of mind.
Yeah, she is resting. So stamina and wits.
Stamina plus wits, let's say. There's not really a great combination for a role like this. The default would probably just be literally stamina, but I personally like to always have a combination. We'll call it difficulty 5.
Oh boy.
Hey, that's in your favor.
Okay.
There you go.
That's 4 successes.
Well, Thasania, tell me, what is it that you do that helps you rest, relax, and shake off the worst of it as you hear from without the approach of your father?
I'll drink lots of water, get a very quick power nap,
Okay.
letting her whole curse steely trigger, and just switching legacies there and back into being Lady Agrippina. And one of the flaws that Designer has is curse. It's a bit freeform. In her case, she violates her unseelie legacies ban. She switches back to her sea legacy, whole jackal hide transformation into a quite literal fairy princess.
I do not see these moments very often from your character, so I'm really looking forward to it. Let's pick up now with the group approaching. The door opens and Alexander says, "My Lord Count, I did not expect you to be coming to your daughter's chambers. I thought that you were preoccupied." He looks at Elleris and Lucas, narrowing his eyes. "And I had thought that the two of you had other business to which you were attending."
Elleris will, in effect, and almost like, who me, kind of raise his eyebrows and goes, "And what more earnest business could I have than the leal service to my rightful liege lord? I'm surprised to hear you speak like this."
I see where this is going.
Oh yeah, it's gone there.
Radamanthus is in the background, just ranting and rambling, while the two of you are talking to Alexander. Well, Lord Radamanthus's daughter is currently retiring in her bedchambers, so I do not think this would be the best place to have a conversation. Medi, you can have your character pop up whenever you'd like.
Okay. Agrippina emerges from her room looking not very moth-like as before. White hair in her nightgown. It's like a bit more of a silly elf princess. Oh, hello, Daddy. Were you looking for me? Or
He hurries over and, with more enthusiasm than you can ever recall, he picks you up in a big affectionate hug, lifting you off the ground, tearfully and joyfully embracing you.
oh, is something the matter? It's not often you're this enthusiastic.
"I've missed you so, my darling Agrippina.
Oh,
These days, they make me tremble with disgust, fear, and loathing. There's so little light. You are like a candle in the darkness, the last remaining one, lit by other candles that I fear are now extinguished and long gone, their wicks melted to the base, nothing but puddles of cold wax.
Why do you say that, Daddy? Are you not beloved by many?
What use is the love of the many if you do not have affections of those for whom you care? What use is it in being a count, a powerful noble, a strong member of my house, if I have no power over love and the heart itself? What use is all the wisdom and magic if I cannot cast the spell of joy?
Is it because you're out of touch with your subjects? If that's the case, Ellis and I were thinking of a brilliant idea, actually.
Uh, My lord Radamanthus, I do not believe that this is an appropriate subject to be discussed right now. Given your current mood, it might be wise for you to relax as much as your daughter has been and to not concern yourself with these things. I am riven in two by my feelings. The love that I feel that my people have for me, but not all of my people. We are a city with courts divided, people separated, unable to have any sort of true unity to express themselves and be themselves amongst each other, to feel joy and sunlight together.
And why don't we organize one?
My lord, I really do not think this is an appropriate time, and these two, the High Sorcerer and this gentleman from Lord Beleros. At the mention of Lord Beleros, Radamanthus turns to look back at Lucas and says, "Would Beleros attend such a gathering?
I have no doubt he would.
Swear it upon your honor as a squire of House Baelor."
It is so sworn.
Alexander sighs. My lord, you really, I do not think that you are in the appropriate mental state, if I might be so bold, for these matters. I'm not sure what the High Magister has been telling you, Elorus.
I have not said anything that wasn't the total truth.
You are as bad as the previous Magister, Apollo. At this, Radamanthus begins to weep against his daughter, saying, "I remember when I was young and Apollo would do his magic tricks and he would make me laugh and talk about wonderful and funny things. I miss him so."
I'm sure Apollo was entertaining, but I think he was a very bad influence, Daddy.
There were no rules back then. I could do as I please. Some days I think I still hear his voice.
Yeah,
Elleris, you know exactly why that is.
it's because he's in the walls. I mean, sometimes really in the walls. It's a problem.
Agrafina looks over at Alaris, smiling. What do you mean that he is in the walls? Why is he not in the dungeons where he belongs?
Yeah, okay, I got it. Elris looks around for one of the stuffed animals that's like a lizard or maybe a dinosaur or a dragon, and he'll pick it up and say, "All right, pretend, no, don't pretend this is Apollo, right?" And Apollo's like, "Oh, look at me, I'm sneaky," and then I'm like, "You need to get back to the room that you're on house arrest in," and then he's like, "Well, you know what the pigeons can't do? Go into the floorboards," and then he turns into a lizard, and he's just gone.
Agrafina opens her mouth, closes it in the most princessly way possible, and then breathes out. And then turns to Alexander. Alexander, please, could you book an appointment with some exterminators? We seem to have an infestation.
I will make it my next priority, my lady.
Please do. In the meantime, I do believe it would be unhealthy for Daddy and I to be here while the exterminators come and fumigate the place. So, Daddy, it might be a good idea for us to take a vacation from our freehold.
Yes, Elleris and Squire Lucas were mentioning something about it. Alexander sighs. And Radamanthus says, "Let us gather around the tea table and tell me, what is it that you have planned?" He points towards a tea table is very clearly sized for adults, but it's like full of comfy chairs, many of which are occupied by plushies presently. This is going to come down to a roll in a moment to see how well you're able to control Radamanthus's mood going into this event. So I turn over to the three of you and tell me, what do you do?
Well, if the others agree, I think trying to pitch him on the idea of going to this party at the Burning Hostel to celebrate Midsummer and Pride Month, something to help unify our people after all the hardships. And Thessania has volunteered to put on a performance. And then we kind of whisper to him, and then there's rumors that Lady Purcell herself will be catering the event. And of course, Lord Valeros would, of course, attend such an event.
Those are a lot of excellent points. Does anybody have anything to add?
Would it be possible? Because I mean, this whole thing hinges on Radamanthus
Uh-huh.
going, and Lord Beleros. Like, if they don't show up, we're kind of sunk. So now's the time to using maybe some material Elris might have at the freehold, if he could excuse himself for a moment, to make like a fake invitation, like that's supposed to be from Belarus's, maybe if not from Belarus himself, then from his court.
While I'm talking the points, you turn into the pigeon, fly away, and come back with an invitation or something like that.
I don't know if we'd have the time for that. It's up to Fetch. I will leave this to ST discretion.
I can say with like the three of you doing like work together, I can incorporate all of this into like a single role. And part of it is, you working up this fake invitation. So the two complications here are, so I'd say the base difficulty is 6, but the two complications are, one is that Radamanthus's mood is difficult to read and predict his behaviors, and Alexander is trying to guide him towards caution. So it is a difficulty of 8 prior to any reductions that you could invoke. I would say his daughter, being Agrippina, asking him to do this reduces the difficulty by 1. The urgings of his sorcerer reduce it by 1 again. And Lucas swearing already for his own lord that he's going to be there reduces it by 1, bringing this down to a difficulty 5 to persuade Radamanthus to go along with the plan in a way that you want, that is controlled.
Okay. What was the check again?
Good question. What the check would be in this case.
Probably either charisma or manipulation.
Yes, it would probably be charisma or manipulation, plus empathy would be the most obvious, though I would accept arguments for subterfuge or other skills if necessary.
Yeah, I guess it's a charisma empathy for me.
And only one of you would be rolling.
Okay.
So whoever, I would suggest that it would probably be Agrippina doing the manipulation or charisma plus empathy roll. But if Medi doesn't trust her dice pool, she is welcome to explain how she shifts it over to one of the other two characters.
I think I can do it.
Okay. You will be up against only a difficulty 5 because of the 3 things that all of you have to contribute. Are you going to spend willpower on this?
I'll roll 7. I don't think I need to spend more willpower on that.
Okay. I will say that all of you are going to have a chance to get a rest and a willpower refresh after this, because it will be time just between this and the event itself. But you are against a difficulty of 5, and tell me, what exactly do you want for succeeding?
To convince Lord Radamantis to take a vacation out of the Freehold, book a room at the
The Burning Feather Hostel.
Burning Feather Hostel.
Are you trying to, like, keep him unaware of the party itself? Like, is that just gonna happen around him?
Yes. And that's a, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 5.
Well, that's a perfect success then. I want to clarify with all three of you because this is a little different from what I was expecting, but I'm cool with it. So there will be a party. It's going to be at the Burning Feather. Rhadamanthus thinks that he's just going there to relax and chill out, but this is all a setup for this wonderful pride thing that he's going to be drawn into, and you're bringing Valeros along as well for it.
Yep.
That sounds good to me.
Fine by me.
Cool.
Agrippina isn't drunk anymore. The marriage thing has been changed.
Alexander is just confused. He's like, I don't understand what's going on anymore.
If it was Sasanya speaking, then the marriage thing would probably come up. But this is Agrippina, the good little girl, the kind yet somewhat stern princess.
I could truly use some time to relax with you, my beloved daughter, by my side. Yes, I think I shall retire temporarily from the freehold and go to the Burning Feather. Alexander, I'm going to need to have my bags packed. Yes, my lord. And that is where we are going to end today's session. You have all been wonderful, and I hope the audience enjoyed. Before we exit out, we are going to do our stars and wishes and then do our sign off. We are going to begin with Jay, then go to Medi, then Elris, and then me.
Okay. I'm Jay playing Lucas Green Esquire, clerk on Bare Knuckle Butler. I hate being put on the spot like this. Okay. Star for the curveballs drunk Thessania were throwing us for a while there.
Truly incredible.
And star for Elris for getting rid of the doom and gloom in the sky.
That was a nice touch. I wasn't expecting it.
With Kronos, no less. And star for Fetch. Oh, Rhadamanthus was a lot.
Yeah. Now you see what Thessania and Agrippina had to deal with.
Yeah. I mean that in a good way, but it's also like, whoo, he's a lot.
Thank you. Normally I play Rhadamanthus as quite reserved, and it's fun to just let go. One of my favorite aspects of Changelings is that the Fae at any time can change to a spectacularly different mood. Do you have any wishes?
More a question.
Mhm.
Technically, I still have to convince Boleros to come to this thing. Are we just gonna hand wave that, or make some quick rolls, or are we gonna?
I think we can hand wave that, maybe make a couple quick rolls during the downtime between now and next session. That way we can just begin with things at the Burning Feather next week.
Cool.
You already have an in from all those questions you asked during
Yeah.
the beginning of our first session, so I don't think it'll be too hard.
And between all of the points I just gave Rhadamanthus, and then on top of that, I can add. And the kids will be able to go over. All those kids that you take care of can go play over there while you have some alone time with with the other adults for a change.
Instant sell. Why would I even ask you for a roll?
And then everything else on top of that.
All right. Do you have any wishes, or do you want to popcorn it over to one of the other players?
Popcorn.
Cool. Who do you want to go next?
Thessania, your turn.
Okay. Satiana was just being a good sport and miscommunication between him and drunken Thessania.
Sometimes you just got to play the hand you're dealt, but I very much enjoyed it. It was fun.
And Fetch, great job narrating Rhadamanthus.
You are welcome. I appreciate how you handle his moods. It was adorable seeing Agrippina calling him daddy.
I mean, I have to differentiate the two personalities. As for Luke, shushing Sam from just divulging the whole plan in her bit of a drunken tirade there.
Yeah, I mean, able to just pop up behind you all of a sudden.
Yep. He is a hell of a butler.
Why, thank you.
And I popcorn down over to Elris.
So I am going to start with a star for Thesania, actually for doing something that I think is just really cool, both above table and in character, where you got 5 successes, and there was a bit of a change in the plan. I think that's actually something that Changeling has helped me do with the groups that I've been in, where it's like you have someone who their PC is involved with an NPC. In this case, it's Thasania's father, and you call it audible, and you let them shine. You get that moment. So I actually thought that was really how Agrippina was like. This is what Agrippina would do as opposed to Thasania instead of faking a wedding, and I really liked that playing to like lift others up. That was awesome. Star to Lucas for actually the scene in the car. I really enjoyed that like consummate butler, which he was the whole way through. But you know what the water thing really reminded me of, and when Elris said glamour app, it took me to Harbingers of Winter. Like I could, for some reason, I've never used that Storyteller's Vault supplement in a game, but I could picture Lucas doing like the glamour app, like, "Hey, could you give me 5 stars? I need some dross this
That
week."
hurt my soul to hear a reference to the Glamour
Yeah,
app.
I mean, The Harbingers of Winter is not a happy book, at least thematically. I mean, hence the name, but it's maybe I was too harsh on it. It's got some neat ideas, but yeah. Star to fetch for, and again, this is something else that I love, and I've been trying to do more as a storyteller myself. The scene in the kitchen with Purcell, where you went to the table and said, "Everyone, just give me something in this room." And we're gonna yes and like synthesize it together. And we came up, I had an image of the room in my head, and then everyone got to paint onto that canvas, and it was much cooler than anything that I just imagined by myself, and I love that. It was such a nice touch.
I almost forgot about that. I actually want to give Thesania another star for the self-prepping vegetables. Oh my god.
That was terrifying. I
Yeah, it
loved it.
was.
But magical.
It was one. It made a lot of sense, and it was slightly unsettling.
Yeah.
I call that mission accomplished.
As for wishes, I kind of have a bit of the same one kind of that Jay had. I would like, and I know this is only the we're only doing like 3 sessions here, but if we do a downtime scene, or maybe even just one, because as both a player and a storyteller, I find downtime can often be like a difficult thing. And I think maybe just having an example of it, even if it's just like a single, like you all do one thing or something, could be really educational.
So you're thinking like everybody has a downtime action or even side scene, and then we tell the players how that went?
Yeah, I think that as a new, both a player and even a new storyteller, because hopefully we'll have both listening to this. We always need more storytellers. Having an example of downtime, just being like, hey, here is one way to handle it. Because yeah, I'll be honest, as a storyteller, especially when I was brand new to it, I thought that was one of the most difficult things to handle, because there's so many ways you can do it, and making it work for your group, finding like how much time pass, how many actions do you get, how significant should those actions be. Like yeah, I think it's something that's not as intuitive maybe.
Yeah. Medi and Jay, would you be okay with that?
Sure.
Time for that.
Cool. I'll ping you all, and we will go from there. Any other wishes, Al?
Oh no, that was all for me, thank you.
Okay, cool. So it just leaves me. So stars. Other people kind of said it already, but Mindy, I loved how you switched from Thessania to Agrippina. That was a beautiful surprise and also a great role playing moment from you.
Thank you.
Jay, I loved using Twinkle of the Eye twice to just disappear and reappear. Not only is it pretty cool, but also feels very butlery.
Just appearing out of nowhere.
Yes, to chat with somebody. And Elris, you made me laugh with the whole thing about describing Apollo turning into a lizard and slipping into the floorboards. That was
That was one of the
oh,
moments where you actually got a more gentle Agrippina, made her go serious and angry.
so good. Wishes. Next section is going to be our last. It's going to be the party itself. So my wishes are two parts. One is during our downtime, I want to sort out what exactly that looks like, which we'll be doing during the scenes. And two, I do want to demonstrate combat at some point, so I will have somebody throw a punch, but I also know that combat can dominate a session, so when that comes up, I want us to keep that relatively brief. And that is it. 5 experience points for everybody. That is your last bucket of XP. So go ahead and spend it whatever you have.
Spend it if you got it.
Spend it if you got it. So I've been Fetch, your storyteller, and this has been our actual play for Changeling the podcast. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a great day.
This session was a good example of how a storyteller for Changeling must adjudicate the traits involved for dice pools of all kinds. Relatively uncommon situations may call for unusual combinations. Mix stamina with performance for the slam poetry magnum opus your satyr reads at the Lunasa gathering, but be ready with pure stamina to soak damage when the audience finally rushes the stage to make you stop after the second hour. If you want your she wearing a flock of crows to look mysterious and impressive rather than just another elf bedecked with bird shit, roll appearance plus animal ken. And if your knocker needs to shove the counterflange back into the freehold reticulator without messing up any other piece of equipment before the whole thing explodes in a shower of cake and shrapnel, you could do worse than strength plus technology. Considering these and myriad other possibilities are the pastime of our show when we're not busy serving you up some piping hot Changeling content, twin endeavors in which we are supported by our lovely patrons, who include Bad Company, Ben the Canadian, Siglawson Jr., Derek, Dorcadus, Elleris, Henry Kraft, Ia Bull, Oreo, Raskaboos, Rebecca P., Sandjager, Sija, The Crew of Erebus, and Ware Buffalo. 100,000 thanks to them. You too can sign up to help our show at www.patreon.com/changelingthepodcast, but we also appreciate reviews on the listening platform of your greatest convenience. Until the next and final installment of this actual play, we hope you'll keep on taking names and causing mischief, or taking mischief and causing names, or, whatever. Live your lives. Just remember to keep on dreaming.